What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Dylan the Villain, and we're coming back at you once again with some more Total Extreme Wrestling 2020. We are playing as the WWF 1997. We are going to kick off the pre-show in an abysmal pre-show matchup. Steve motherfucking Blackman defeats Wolfie D in 304 by pinfall. We are in 10,000 people in Norwich, in England. Steve Blackman got a 55 and Wolfie D got a 29. Announcing color commentary gave the match a boost, and the match got a 40. As you know, we are on our European tour, and we have a pay-per-view this Sunday, actually. One night only in England. It's going to be a big card, and I had 2 weeks to basically try to book a card. Most of the time I have a month to tell a story and book a card, but I had 2 weeks, so hopefully this pay-per-view is not thrown together, and all the storylines will make sense. Hopefully everything will make sense. And so yeah, we're going to move on to the next segment, which is another pre-show matchup. It is the Dudleys taking on the Pitbulls, and they defeat the Pitbulls when Bubba Ray Dudley pinned Pitbull number 2, Devon Dudley. Devon carried the match in in-ring work. Devon with a 47, Bubba with a 36, Pitbull number 1 with a 35, and Pitbull number 2 with a 37. Bubba Ray and Devon have excellent chemistry teaming together, and they have the tag team specialists. Along with the Pitbulls, announcing color commentary gave the match a boost. Match got a 43. We move on to the opening segment of the night, and it is the Undertaker. It is the Undertaker in Vince McMahon's office, and Undertaker is basically playing back what happened on Shotgun Saturday Night. We see that the Undertaker, he wants his World Heavyweight title shot. He said he's been waiting patiently. He's been, you know, he's beaten everybody that they put him up against. He's beaten everybody that Vince has to offer, and he wants his shot. He believes that he's next in line for that championship, and he wants his opportunity. Vince says, pretty much, you scratch my back, I scratch your back. You take care of Steve Austin, get rid of Austin, and I'll give you your title shot. Undertaker agrees. So tonight we are going to have a huge main event of Kane versus Stone Cold Steve Austin in our main event. Hopefully Kane can get the job done and put an end to Steve Austin. Let his brother Undertaker get a World Heavyweight title shot at the next pay-per-view. Not the English pay-per-view. We'll get on to that one. But the next pay-per-view following that. We move on to the next segment. This segment got a 93. It is the Hardys taking on Bomb and Crush. The Hardys defeat Bomb and Crush when Jeff Hardy submits Crush with a Texas Cloverleaf. Okay, Matt Hardy with a 51, Jeff with a 56, Crush with a 35, and Bomb with almost a 40. Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy have excellent tag team chemistry together. They have the tag team specialists. Along, Bomb and Crush have great chemistry teaming together. Announcing color commentator gave the match a boost, and Matt Hardy benefited from coming up with a cool new move. Match got a 43. This could have been on the pre-show, but, you know. We changed some matches around. I was actually going to have this in the middle of the card, but I decided to make it the opening because I didn't know quite where Jeff and Matt stood in England. But apparently they're okay in England. So we move on to the next segment. And it is a segment with Kurt Angle and Vince McMahon. And Kurt Angle basically saying that he wants Bret Hart. He's beaten Owen he beat Owen at the last pay-per-view. Owen beat him, but he's beaten Owen. You know, Brett's not the champion anymore, so we don't have to worry about me messing up the contendership, or you know what I'm saying, or me having to earn a shot to face Brett. He's like, Brett isn't just a normal competitor like me. I want Brett at this pay-per-view. Vince is just like, well, you know, he's like, yeah, you know, yeah, you want to go against Brett? I'm more than happy to let you go against Brett. You know, Davey Boy is busy being a part of the European title tournament. He's like, Owen is back home, you know, back home with his family right now, and everything. And Brett's here. Brett is not booked for the pay-per-view, so yeah, I can give you that match, pretty much. Vince is pretty much like, yeah, I'll give you that match. Kurt thanks him, and he's just like, Vince, like, I thank you more than anything. I owe you one, Vince. I owe you one. Vince is just like, okay, yeah, I'll hold you up on that offer one day. And we move on to the next segment. This time we got 100. We move on to the next segment, and it is Dean Malenko taking on Lance Storm in a bout that had terrible wrestling, non-existent crowd heat. Dean Malenko defeats Lance Storm by submission with the Texas Cloverleaf. The match got a 60, and they have great chemistry together. That is good to know. Very good to know. I'm a huge fan of Lance Storm. I loved WCW Lance Storm. Thought the dude was great in WCW and ECW. Teaming up with Just Incredible. Phenomenal dude. He really didn't get an opportunity to shine that much in WWF, but man, this might be a start, might be a push for Lance Storm here. It's good to know that they have great chemistry, and it showed in their performance. Announcing color commentary of the match to boost. The match got a 60, Dean Malenko with a 63, and Lance Storm with a 44. So hopefully we can boost up Lance Storm's pop for a couple matches, and see where that takes him. I would love to push Lance Storm. Love to push this guy. We move on to the next segment. And it is the Big Show. And Mick Foley is backstage, and he's all beat up from all these attacks that has happened to him lately from Raven. And Raven basically kicking him out of the flock and everything like that. And our hardcore champion, the Big Show, comes up to Mick and goes, Mick, he goes, look, I'm tired of having to beat the shit out of you each and every week. And Mick's kind of looking there at him, and he's just like, no disrespect, you know, but I'm tired of having to beat the shit out of you each and every week to retain this hardcore championship. And Mick, he's like, I think you've finally lost your mind. You know, I know that you can't stay away from hardcore wrestling as much as you try and much as you want to. I don't think you can. I believe that hardcore is forever and ingrained in your DNA and embedded inside of you. There's just no way that you can get out of it. As far as you with Raven, you know, it's pretty obvious that Raven doesn't want anything to do with you anymore, and you know that you don't have a lot of friends. You know, you turned your back on Terry, you turned your back on me, you turned your back on a lot of people teaming up with Raven, and a lot of people are blindsided and hurt. He's like, Mick, you're one of the smartest guys I've ever met in my life, and one of my mentors here in the World Wrestling Federation since coming to the World Wrestling Federation. And he's just like, whatever happens, just know that you have my respect, and you know, I got your back pretty much. And Mick's kind of like, Mick doesn't say anything, and Big Show puts out his hand to shake it, and Mick kind of just he just sits there like taking in Big Show's words, and Big Show like draws his hand back and he goes, "Okay, I understand." He's like, "Well, when you're ready, just come find me and talk to me." And we go to commercial, and we come back, and we see The Rock standing there, and he's talking on his cell phone. And Stephanie's sitting there, and she's just like, "So, where are we going tonight, Rock?" As you know, Stephanie McMahon and The Rock are dating. But ever since The Rock turned his back on the people and teamed up with Vince and Chris Jericho, that Vince pretty much boosted The Rock's ego, and pretty much was just like, "Hey, you're going to be the next star of the World Wrestling Federation. Like, you're going to be the next Hulk Hogan, pretty much." And The Rock's been making movie deals, and he's just been getting quite arrogant and egotistical. And Stephanie's trying to get his attention, and he's on the phone, and he just puts up his hand, and he's just like, "Not right now, just, like, not right now." And she kind of stands there, and she looks at him. She's like, "Really? Again?" And The Rock's like, "Look, sweetheart, as soon as The Rock gets off the phone, The Rock will take you anywhere that you want to go in this shithole country." And the crowd boos, And Stephanie's just like, I think it's a beautiful place, and I think it's a very beautiful and wonderful country. And Rock's just like, "Look, let me get done with these contracts and these movie deals, and I'll get back with you. Why don't you go sit in The Rock's locker room?" So Stephanie she seems upset and defeated, and she walks in The Rock's locker room, and Chris Jericho's sitting there, and he's just like, "Hey, sweetheart." And she's like, "Chris, I done told you, right? Like, I don't want to date you. You're repulsive." And Chris Jericho he laughs, and he goes, "Not only am I the best in the world at what I do, I'm the best in the world at," and he looks her up and down, and he goes, "what I do." And Stephanie kind of gags a little bit, and he goes, "Look, when you're done playing second fiddle to old Pebble over there, you come find yourself a real man in Chris Jericho, the Ayatollah of rock and rolla. Your hero, your role model, your icon, everything that you want The Rock to be, I already am. He's not even a champion. Look at me. I'm the Intercontinental Champion. That means I'm the champion of all the intercontinental states, countries." And Stephanie kind of just looks at him, and she goes, "Well, I'm with The Rock, and that's who I want to be with. And I'm very flattered, Chris, but I don't want to go anywhere with you." And Chris is just like, "Fine. There's plenty of women out there who want some of La Champion, Chris Jericho. And so, don't feel bad when I'm with somebody else and you're wanting your opportunity because The Rock doesn't want anything to do with you." And she's just like, ugh. Like, she's just disgusted by Jericho. And Jericho he's so full of himself, way more than The Rock. Like, he's just so full of himself, and he just walks out. He's oozing that confidence, and he just walks out, thinking that he's the hottest thing since sliced bread. And Stephanie kind of sits in the locker room, and she sits down, and she just shakes her head. And as we move on to our next matchup, which is Ken Shamrock taking on Mr. Perfect, and Ken Shamrock picks up the win against Mr. Perfect in a bout that had superb wrestling onto the crowd heat. He makes Mr. Perfect tap out with an ankle lock. The match got a 67, Shamrock with a 50 8, and Perfect with a better rating, almost 10 points higher, with a 67. Maybe I'm pushing the wrong guy here. But Ken Shamrock picks up a win here tonight. We move on to this contest. And once again, it is Triple H versus Shawn Michaels. And as we know, Shawn Michaels won that big triple threat match. And it's supposed to be Michael Cole. He's supposed to be interviewing Triple H. And, or Shawn Michaels. He's supposed to be interviewing somebody. But, basically, it shows the history. Since it's just these two men, it shows the history of these two men and the Madison Square Garden incident where the 4 men broke kayfabe. It doesn't refer to the other 2 men and the other company by name. It doesn't refer to them by name, but it shows them, and it shows how they were a clique and they were friends, and how Triple H was punished for a whole year of after the incident happening, and how he had to job out, and how he had to climb his way back up to the top, and now he's not only King of the Ring, but he is now the World Wrestling Federation World Heavyweight Champion. And it shows Shawn Michaels. And it shows Shawn Michaels conquering all his demons and turning his life around, and he's back. And shows their last man standing match that they had, and Triple H beating them, and then Shawn Michaels coming back after the Bret Hart match, and Shawn Michaels beating Bret Hart and the Undertaker to claim his #1 contendership matchup. And now they're here, and the story has not ended. The story still continues of the rivalry between Shawn Michaels and Triple H. That neither man is going to back down at Sunday at the pay-per-view. Neither man is going to give up. Neither man's going to submit. Neither man's going to say, I quit. They are going to do whatever it takes to regain that championship title and become World Wrestling Federation World Heavyweight Champion. Segment got a 100. We move on to our next segment. And it is the quarterfinals, the semifinals of the European Championship Tournament. And a bout that had some pro wrestling on his next crowd heat. Christian defeats Scott Steiner by pinfall with a quick roll-up. He surprised Steiner. He pinned Steiner. 1, 2, 3. Steiner is in disbelief. He's still on his knees. You know, Christian grabs the tights and he rolls them up, and you know, Christian's celebrating and everything like that. Christian's still in the ring, and Steiner gets up, and Steiner then grabs Christian and turns him around, and you think Steiner's gonna hit him with a clothesline or something, and Steiner just stands there and he puts out his hand, and Christian's looking confused, and he puts out his hand, and he shakes Christian's hand, and he raises it and says that Christian's the better man, and Scott walks to the back, and he gets stopped by Michael Cole, and Michael Cole's like, Steiner, this is a different character from, this is a different attitude from you than what we're normally used to. Everybody expected you to attack Christian after the match. You know, like, why, I hate to ask, but why didn't you? And Scott Steiner goes, you know, I'm a simple man, Michael Cole. And you see, when I went out there tonight, I thought I was the better man. Because, I mean, look at me. I'm a genetic freak. He probably had a 25% chance at best of winning. But he conquered those odds. And he beat me in the middle of that ring here tonight to move on to become the first European champion. Tonight he was the better man, and Scott Steiner knows when he's been beaten by a better man. Yeah, he may have pulled my tights, and yeah, he may have used some underhanded tactics to win, but like Scott Steiner, like the Steiners always said, if you ain't cheating, you're not trying. And Christian did whatever he had to do to win here tonight, and I can respect that. So I'm going to look at this camera right here, so all my freaks will know that when Christian becomes the European champion, you better give Scott Steiner the first shot at that championship belt. Now holla if you hear me. And he walks off, you know, he cuts a little promo. Technically got a 56, not bad, but could have did better. We move on to the next segment. And it is the other semi-final matchup. His gimmick's getting stale, so we're going to have to make a note of that. In a superb match, Davey Boy Smith beats Double J Jeff Jarrett in 13-23 by pinfall. Match got a 76. Davey Boy with a 93 and Double J with a 76. Double J and Deborah did good ring, have good chemistry together. And Jeff Jarrett, he's in the middle of the ring. He starts crying. He always gets so close, and he gets so close, and he just can't seem to get to the mountain. And Deborah comes in to console him, and he flips out on Deborah and starts yelling and screaming at her, telling her to get the hell out of the ring. All this, and Deborah's just trying to, you know, be his manager and everything like that. And he starts screaming and yelling at Deborah, and he's like, "Get the fuck out of my ring! Get out of my ring! I don't want you in my ring!" And everything, and he's kicking her out. As she goes to the back, and him and her go to the back, and he's just yelling and screaming at her, "Where were you? Where were you?" And blah blah blah. We move on to the next segment. And it is a promo from Stone Cold Steve Austin before his match with Kane. Microphone says, Austin, you have faced Kane before in the past. I know that Kane can be quite an intimidating figure. Are you nervous or scared? Steve Austin's like, I'm going to do what I do every week. Then I come out here. Then I'm here on Raw is War. He's like, I'm going to do what I always do. That's come out here, drink some beer, and whoop some ass. And guess what, Michael Cole? I ain't got no damn beer, so it looks like I'm about to go out there and kick some ass. Oh, hell yeah, because that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold Steve Austin said so. So he goes out there, and he comes out first. And Kane then comes out with The Undertaker. And they end up having a match, and Stone Cold's going at it, man. They have a good back-and-forth matchup. They go at it. Stone Cold starts to get the upper hand, and that's kind of what I want happened. And a superb bout that had great heat and good wrestling. Steve Austin defeats Kane by disqualification. Austin hits a stunner, and then The Undertaker comes in and hits him with a big boot. Pretty much ending the matchup here, you know, ending the matchup. Ref gives the win to Austin. Disqualifies Kane. Kane with a 86 and Austin with a 94. The match got a 87. Could have did better. It advances both segments, so that's good. Kane and Steve Austin both with crowd support. The fans love both of these men. We move on to the next segment, and Kane and Undertaker start beating the shit out of Steve Austin, and all of a sudden Farouk and Bradshaw come out in their APA gear with chairs, and they chase Undertaker and Kane away, and they pick up Austin, and Austin's kind of confused, you know, like he's looking at both of them like, what the hell are y'all doing here? And Farouk and Bradshaw are like, come on, boy, come on, y'all want to fight? Come on, y'all want to fight? Come on. And Farouk and the APA came out and saved Stone Cold Steve Austin. So we're going to have to find out what's going on, because that is the end of Raw is War. Our show got a 91, not bad. Increased our popularity in 17 regions. Canada, we need a better TV deal for Canada. And we're going to go ahead and finish the show. 91, not bad. especially in a sold-out crowd of 10,000 people. You know, that's always good. Excuse me. We have some mail. CMLA, WCW Nitro. Let's check out Nitro like we always do. 67. Golly. Woo-wee. They're going and they're in New England. Yeah, man, they are doing horrible here. Horrible. Who better than Canyon? Let's see if we can, I'm gonna try to sign Canyon. If we can sign Canyon. Can we sign Canyon? We can sign Canyon. Most of the time I do this off screen. What are they offering you, buddy? For 3 years? Yeah. I don't want to give you 20% of merchandise cut though. I'll give you 10, and I'll give you. We'll give you 14,000 with a $25,000 signing bonus with 10% all shows. I do give. I won't give you any of that. Yeah, we'll give you that. Okay. No. I can pay you 20. I can pay you 20 grand. I'll pay you 20 grand. Yeah. I'll give you 20 grand. What are you? I mean, who better than Canyon? Who better than Canyon? Who better than Canyon? Most of the time I do that stuff off screen. I don't normally show that on screen. But, I mean, who better than Canyon? You know, who better than Canyon? Thank y'all for watching this video, guys. Thank y'all for liking the video, for those of y'all do like it. It helps out the channel a ton. If you're not subscribed, the subscribe icon will be over the Monday Night Raw logo. If you like this episode and want to go back and catch up on previous episodes, the playlist will be on last night results. My name is Dylan the Villain, guys, and like we always say here at Pro-Am Gaming, if you can't play with each other, do what I'm doing right now and play with yourself. We'll see you on Shotgun Saturday night.